Hey, hi, ho, and howdy, everybody. My name is Shannon L, and welcome to the first ever edition of Pokemon news here on this channel. As you may know, I've mentioned it, I think, once or twice before. If not, I've thought it many a time. I've been wanting to do things such as supplementary videos to things like Let's Plays that I do here on the channel, specifically things like opinion videos and news and anything else that I can bring to people, and that is what I intend to do here today. Earlier today, or probably be last night, or yesterday I should say, from when this video actually comes out, the newest Nintendo Direct premiered, and with it came a bit of information. Started off with news on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Considering this is the first time I'm doing news on this channel, I'll do a quick rundown of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon for those who don't know and just happen to be stopping by. I don't know why you do that, but that's you, and that's okay. You do you. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon is, of course, the second major entry in the 7th generation of Pokemon. Obviously, the what is effectively the third entry, the third part or whatever that would normally come with a series in the same way of Sapphire, Ruby, and eventually Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. The only difference this time is seemingly that there's just 2 copies, one for each of the legends, and yeah, that seems to be basically the main idea. We've gotten very little information on it so far, so it's kind of nice to get a little bit more. We still don't have a ton, but at least they did confirm a couple cool new things pertaining to the games in this. One thing in particular, which I know is the biggest thing that caught a lot of people's attention. Basically, I'm going to go through both the Direct and the little trailers. They give basically the same information, so there's not too much more to go on. Or in that, in the Direct, starting with the Direct, we open to just a simple overview of a lot of things that we've already seen. How we get our hands on our starter Pokemon being, seemingly instead of being gifted to us by Hala as they were in the previous games, instead they seem to perhaps show up to help defend us against a wild young goose who's feeling frisky and ready to get risky. I don't know where I was going with that. Point is, they seem to come to our help, and that seems to be where we get them. Other things that we already knew that keep coming up will be the official reveal to Solgaleo and Lunala's fusions, if you will, with Necrozma, though it does seem to be much more of a Necrozma is stealing them. He's just like, come here, I'm gonna gobble you up and eat you and put you in my belly, and I'm gonna be you, and I'm gonna be a badass. Which they show in the trailer, and it's dope. Though I don't think that is actually any in-game stuff. That seems like supplementary CG things. But they do show Solgaleo and Lunala saying, nah, son, we ain't having that, and having a little fight with Necrozma, which seems really cool. I'm very interested to see how much that affects the actual story, because usually the third entry in a series with those dual Pokemon games, such as Platinum or such as Emerald, definitely does change a few things. I've never really played through any of them long enough to actually see how much actually changes. I never actually got to play through all of Platinum, so I don't know really anything about how it affects it, other than I know Giratina got a significant amount of extra play in the story, as well as Emerald. I know some things such as the original champion changed. From what I understand, the contests were switched to the Battle Frontier, if I'm not mistaken. Do correct me if I'm wrong on that. So I'm very curious to see exactly how much changes in that, right? The other thing that we do know that we've known for quite a while is that our adventure in Alola this time takes place a few years later from the original, though most of the same things seem to happen. As you might notice in this recent Direct before the reveal of Necrozma being a badass, we do get the original introduction to UBO1, to Neolago, to the Ultra Beasts all together with Lusamine and Hau in the Aether Paradise. So I'm curious to see how much that changes. From what I understand, or at least from what I would guess, that would not be the introduction to Necrozma, though that is how they set it up in the trailer. I think that's probably just editing, though. I'm very curious to see how much that changes, especially since the biggest piece of information that we get, which I will get to here in a minute, pertains to the Ultra Beasts. Another piece of information of course, new environments and locations and items and things like that in the games. Of course, new attire and things like that, which is always cool. Hopefully, I know in the previous games there was version exclusive attire, which I never really noticed, but when I began to learn about it, it didn't particularly appeal to me. I think it's an okay idea, and I'm fine with it. It's just I like being able to mix and match and look like a goofus. Don't take that away from me. So, very curious to see how we get that. I know in the trailer, it's either in the trailer track or in the direct. I don't know which. My apologies on that. But they do show off a female trainer rocking a cool Pikachu-esque outfit, and I think it's goddamn adorable. As well as with the new environments, of course. If anyone who's taken a look at the map of Alola in this newest game, obviously the biggest change being the giant doom hole in the sky, which one could assume is either due to the Ultra Beast or to Necrozma, or both. Oh my god, it's a conspiracy, I tells you. But it's interesting to find out what that's about. But also there's lots of little locations that have been adjusted. Certain beaches or places that weren't there before, new buildings and all things like that. They actually show one of the beaches in both the direct and the trailer, I believe. I know they show it in the direct, but I can't remember if they do it in the trailer. Something else pertaining to that beach, which has a bunch to do with like surfers and all that kind of thing, is something I noticed by watching another video by someone else, which I hadn't noticed before, is on the beach. I should probably say shout out to Shofu. He's responsible for me seeing that. On that beach, you will notice that there is a Mantine that's all hooked up to look like a ride Pokemon. So it does appear like there will be new ride Pokemon, which I'm all about. I'm 100% for the introduction of any new and more of anything. You want to give me new Alolan forms? Give it. I don't care. I don't even care if they're cool or not. Just give them to me. You want to give me new Ultra Beasts? Do it. You want to give me new Ride Pokemon? I'm all about it. You want to give me new Mega Evolutions? Do it. I'm all about it. You want to give me anything that's like completely unimportant to the story, but just gives me more cool, fun lore and world building? I don't care. Give it to me. I want that. That's one of my favorite things about Pokemon. I know a lot of people complain about that kind of thing, especially when it comes to a lot of the times that'll be the argument for Pokemon that people consider less than stellar. When I just look at it and I'm like, dude, that just means there's more cool things in the world. That's something that appeals to me a lot. So I'm 100% on board with that, especially if I'm wondering if that means it will replace like the Surf Pokemon with Sharpedo and Lapras, though I don't know. That definitely seems more of a, you already got two of them. If you want to replace them, that's fine, but I think both those really fit really well with what they do. If they want to have extras, then that's cool. But another thing that was mentioned in that video that I mentioned before by Shofu was the possibility that maybe it's something like a dive Pokemon. It seems more like a Lantern kind of thing. Lantern, but I'm still cool with like a Mantine or something like that. I love Mantine. Ooh. Does anyone remember the third movie? Ooh. That's what it sounded like and was great. Anyway, after that, we got the more information on the Lycanroc that everyone knows we'll be getting as a event Pokemon along with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which will be, of course, the Dusk version of Lycanroc. Some people are on board with it. I'm 100% on board with it. I think it's cool. It comes back to that. Y'all might not think it's cool, but I'm 100% always open for more new, cool, interesting things. Please give me more of them. And especially since it sounds like it'll have kind of the best of both worlds between the previous two, and that's something really cool. And I like its design. It shares some things with other Pokemon that I really like. Along with that information of when it will be released, when it evolves, which if I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, I wonder if I can actually get on Cerebi real quick and check what it is. It tells us the time at which Lycanroc evolves. If I'm not mistaken, it is... evolves into Dusk form, and of course it's only this Lycanroc that can do it, or this Rockruff that can evolve into it, this one with own tempo. Evolves between 17 and 1759. So what would that be? That's 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock p.m. At level 25. Of course, those are the only ones that can evolve into that. Along with that information on Lycanroc, another thing we also learned, which is really, really cool, is that Lycanroc gets its own Z-move. When we first got introduced to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, we do see a little tiny clip of Lycanroc flipping and jumping in the air looking like a goofball, and that was really cool. And a lot of people were like, well, is that a new totem Pokemon? Is that a Z move? What is it? At first, I assumed something just like a normal cutscene, because it didn't glow really, and it didn't strike me as a Z move, which today we learned that it is, because you can actually see the clip of that same exact clip of the midday Lycanroc performing the Z move. Splintered storm shards, as it is in the English language. Which another thing pertaining to this, not only does Dusk Lycanroc and Midday Lycanroc get it, but of course Midnight Lycanroc, and which is my personal favorite of the three, which is one of those Pokemon that I thought I was gonna just hate or not care about at all, and then I played with it, and that's freaking awesome. So I'm really happy that that is a thing. Ooh, something that I just came across too, back on the topic of Necrozma, we did also get the English names for the fusions between Necrozma and Solgaleo Lunala. Solgaleo's, which is Necrozma Dusk Mane, and Lunala's, which is Necrozma Dawn Wings. Yeah, so that's very cool. I'm very interested to see those things. Sorry that I didn't get to those sooner. Those were supposed to be further back. Also, I'm all confused now because my recording software broke on me, so I don't know what I'm talking about now. So let's just move on to the pre-order sort of stuff, right? For those of you who get downloaded copies of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you will be getting 12 Quick Balls along to start your journey, so that's a thing. You just buy them. I mean, that's... I mean, of all the things you could have given, that wouldn't have been high on my list. Anyway, the other thing, though, that is kind of cool, for the virtual console releases of Silver and Gold, which are be coming out in, or at September 22nd, I believe. Haven't pre-ordered, I should know. Those of you who do that will be getting a Celebi code to allow Celebi to come into Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, which is really cool. I love Celebi, so it's really cool to get more of those. I'm not 100% sure how the distribution of those works. I've seen a couple different things. From what I've seen, if you do get it in the Nintendo eShop, I believe is what it's called. I don't really use it too terribly much, but if you do get it through there, you're guaranteed to get the code along to get it. So that's cool. Hoping that works with me getting it on Amazon. We're gonna find out. All right, and the last and probably most important to most everybody who knows anything about Pokemon, the most important piece of information would be that we are getting new Pokemon introduced. As far as my knowledge goes, I don't word very good. As far as I know, there has never been an introduction of new Pokemon in the middle of a generation. That being said, there have been new forms, which I've always kind of considered new Pokemon, so I don't know. But there have never been actually new Pokemon involved. Of course, in Platinum, I believe, was the introduction of the Rotom forms to supplement the original version. And with, say, Black 2 and White 2 for the 5th generation, of course, the two new forms of Kyurem, being Kyurem Black and Kyurem White. Though this time would be the first time we've been getting new actual Pokemon that are completely new and all on their own. And those two new Pokemon, at least the two that we know of currently, are two new Ultra Beasts by the name of UB Burst and UB Assembly, if I'm not mistaken. Is it yes, UB Burst and UB Assembly. UB Burst obviously is the creepy, goofy, clown looking little dude. I don't know what that is, but is amazing. And of course Assembly is the Titan of just stone and eyes, which is creepy. Which I think is really, really cool. I'm super glad that they're adding more Pokemon. Again, as I said earlier, I love just new stuff. Is one of the reasons why I love 5th gen, for the biggest reason being I love the introduction of, there was like almost 200 new Pokemon. It was amazing. I love new Pokemon. And the thing with Ultra Beasts that's really cool is because they're so wacky and weird and crazy, as something from an alternate space dimension of weirdness and crazydom would be, I'm really happy that we have some really crazy and cool designs. Again, UB Burst looks ridiculous, and it's awesome, and I kind of really love it. UB Assembly is very much the same way. It's very creepy and weird and awesome. If I had to take a random guess, just by looking at them, Assembly is going to be incredibly bulky. It looks incredibly bulky. I mean, it's practically, literally a brick shit house. But like made out of space bricks. And of course, UB Burst looks very much like, I would probably assume, a fast special attacker. Especially since it seems like we didn't get too many of those in the way of Ultra Beasts. I understand most all of them were physical except for maybe Neo Lego. So yeah, no, I'm all for it. I really hope we get more Ultra Beasts as well. Considering I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, whether or not we actually got the introduction of Kartana, Celesteela, and Guzzlord in the trailers before Sun and Moon came out. I'm not 100% sure if they did or not, but if they did, then that's cool. We might see more of maybe new Ultra Beast here as well, or I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, along with that, this does open the possibility that we'll be getting more Pokemon and just new Pokemon added to Alola, whether they're just old Pokemon that are now in Alola, or whether they're new Pokemon altogether, which seems more like a possibility. I think that's really, really cool that that's more of an option and something that we could potentially see. And something that I think is way more likely than us getting new Pokemon altogether. I think it would be incredibly likely that we got new Alolan forms for previous Pokemon to appear in Alola now as well. And I'm really hoping to see that, especially if we could get more Pokemon than we got last time, and if we got new ones from other generations instead of just Gen 1. I love Gen 1 too, Pokemon, but Pokemon Company, Game Freak, you guys, I love Gen 1, but I still like Gen 2 and Gen 3 and Gen 4 and Gen 5 and Gen 6 too. So just give them all a little bit of love. You don't gotta just make it all about one little group. I get it, it's nostalgia, it's cool, it holds a place in my heart too, but so does everything else. So anyway, that's all the main information. I hope you enjoyed this little just information dump and a couple of little opinions on some things. My apologies for making it a 20-minute video based on something that's roughly 2 minutes long. But I thought it would be nice to get out this information to you guys, for those of you who haven't seen it, and for those who have seen it, words, you will at least get my opinions. I would hope to do some more of this in the future as more information comes out. The question is that I do want to pass to you guys, though, is obviously this was done very improv, spur of the moment. I did not write a script for it, as you can tell by the fact that it's a friggin' nightmare. So I'd like to know what your opinion is in the future, if you'd like it, just for me to continue to be like this, just normal, me coming off with information as I see it and as it comes to me, or if I should write a script. It comes to you guys. I want you guys to get what you're looking for, okay? I think next time there is information, I will just do one with a script so you guys can get a comparison, but in the end, it comes down to what you guys think anyway. So I will see you guys the next time we have some more Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon information. And, yeah. Toodles, and lemons. Oh, bye-bye! One more quick thing that I just want to quickly throw out to you guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do not be afraid in any way, shape, or form to like and share with as many people as you want. More people getting to see it definitely makes it more likely that I'd want to even try doing it in the first place. There's something kind of silly about doing it and then no one's seeing it, right? Who am I doing it for then? Me? Why would I care about me? Actually, that's not true. I think it's actually kind of fun to do. That's kind of why I do it in the first place. But still, if you can share it with other people, I would really appreciate it. I'd love to get other people's opinions, and I would love to help people out with what they do. So, or with the information that they intend to see. So anyway, yeah. Like it if you liked it, share it if you so desire to help me out, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.